Ever wondered how people react when faced with the consequences of their actions? Some remain calm, but others, well, they explode. In this video, we're diving into the most insane courtroom freakouts after sentencing. From violent outbursts to emotional breakdowns, these moments are shocking, intense, and often tragic. Number 5. Cursing in the courtroom. Let's kick things off with a disturbing case involving Leon Montgomery. Convicted for the horrifying murder of a 6-month-old baby, Leon's sentencing was a long time coming. The child had endured months of abuse before a final brutal act ended its life. The court found Leon guilty and sentenced him to 30 years in prison, with an additional 18 months for contempt of court. As soon as the sentence was handed down, Leon's anger exploded. Instead of showing any sign of remorse, he started shouting curses at everyone in the courtroom. "It's not my fault!" he yelled, claiming he was being mistreated. His behavior was so disruptive that police officers had to physically drag him out. His outburst, full of anger and blame, only solidified what the judge and jury already knew. This man had no remorse for his actions. Number 4. Let me have 5 minutes alone with him. Larry Nassar's case is one of the most notorious in recent history. Nassar, a former gymnastics doctor, was found guilty of abusing countless young girls, including the daughters of a heartbroken father. During the sentencing phase, this father stood up, and instead of making a speech, he made a simple yet intense request. "Can I have 5 minutes alone with him?" The judge, trying to maintain order, gently told him she couldn't allow it.
You know that I can't do that. That's not how our legal system works.
But before she could finish, the father charged at Nassar, filled with rage and grief. The courtroom erupted into chaos as security rushed to restrain him. Although his request was denied, the father's raw emotion was impossible to ignore.
I lost control. I apologize.
Even the judge, understanding his pain, pardoned his outburst after he apologized. Number 3. The Weeping Killer. Next, we meet a young boy who entered the courtroom in tears. But these tears weren't enough to sway the judge. This teenager had killed his girlfriend's young son because the child wouldn't stop crying. When it was his turn to face the judge, he broke down, claiming he never meant to kill the child. He sobbed, saying how sorry he was, hoping for mercy.
I didn't mean to kill Oscar. Actually, I really didn't. I really think I did that. I didn't mean to hurt him.
However, the judge had seen through his act. Prior to the trial, a recording of this boy was uncovered, where he mocked the justice system, claiming that as a 16-year-old blonde kid, all he had to do was cry, and he'd get off lightly.
I am a 16-year-old blonde. Probably all I have to do is cry in front of the jury, and they're going to...
Well, the judge didn't fall for it. The boy's crocodile tears weren't enough to avoid a life sentence. Number 2. Calling for God's help. Damon Kemp, a 19-year-old convicted of murdering his roommate, shocked everyone with his behavior during sentencing. As officers wheeled him into the courtroom, something was clearly off. Damon began screaming at the top of his lungs, calling out for God's help.
God! God! God!
He shouted repeatedly, as if hoping for divine intervention to change his fate. The family of his victim, Trey, was visibly shaken by Damon's behavior. Trey's mother couldn't handle it and left the room in tears. Damon's unpredictable actions and emotional breakdown made it clear that he was completely detached from reality, spiraling into madness as he faced the consequences of his crime. Number 1. Woman collapses during sentencing. In one of the most dramatic courtroom moments, we have Diana Lovejoy, who was convicted in 2016 for plotting to murder her estranged husband. The case had already shocked the community, but Diana's reaction during sentencing took it to another level. As the judge began to read her sentence, Diana's face remained emotionless. Then, out of nowhere, she collapsed, smashing her head against the table. Her lawyer rushed to her side, but she was unconscious, eyes wide open. Officers quickly removed her from the courtroom as medics were called in. It was later revealed that Diana had suffered a medical episode, possibly brought on by the overwhelming stress of her sentencing. These courtroom freakouts reveal the intense emotions that follow sentencing, whether it's regret, rage, or sheer disbelief. They serve as a chilling reminder that justice doesn't always bring peace, and the reactions of those involved can be unpredictable and shocking. If you found this video gripping, don't forget to hit the like button, share it, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories like these. We will see you in our next video.